Hello everybody, it's Alex again. Um, I've got a little haul from you from a charity shop that I pass coming home from work, and they have quite a big selection of tools normally, and then I found quite a few nice things there. These are two hauls combined. One was when I got back from work, and the other one was when I was in the area. As you can see, it's quite a pile. Um, as I said, there's two holes. This is one. This is what I've got coming from work, and this was the other occasion. I don't really remember what I paid for this, so I think about €2 or €3, somewhere in that area. And this came down to €10 something. I think €10.50. But that included a box of 10 free range eggs and a glass mug for my mom. So that was really cheap. So I'm gonna make some room here now, and I'm gonna go through the tools separately. Now, as you know, normally I like to clean up my tools straight away and show you the clean tools and then put them away. As we're speaking, it's freezing outside now, literally, and I've got most of my tender plants in the shed, so I can't get to all my tools, and I don't want to disturb the plants too much. I've got the heater on, so it will be mostly just showing you things. I will try to clean some things up, because I can't stand dirty tools, as you know. So yeah, let's get into this little tool haul. So first, the haul coming home from work, a hammer handle. I always buy used new handles for cheap when I can find them. I've got quite a few in the drawer. More about it later. Seems to be, this is a Dutch word, means handle. So I think, you know, a Dutch made handle, quite nice wood. I'll give it a feed, and I'll store that with the other handles. Now, and I was very happy with this. This is a Dutch brand, saying Nooit Gedacht, which is the guy's last name, which was the factory's name. Now, they made ice skates, they made planes, and they made chisels, and they also made crowbars, and you know, as you can see, punches. I've got quite a few of these the chisels. They're quite common. And I've got one of their punches that I've bought online, and every junk shop I go to or whatever, I look at punches to see if there's one of their punches, and here's one for 50 cents. One of their punches, the Blues Original. I've been cleaning over there. The Blues Original, and I finally, after years of looking, found one of their punches for almost nothing. You don't really find them online as well, because people don't really look at them or don't advertise them as being this brand. Yeah, I'm happy to get it. I've been not cleaning it because I want to show you what it looked before, and I will clean it. Now I will do a very gentle clean like this to keep that blue on there until I can match that. So that will do now anyway. So right, back again. As you can see, I've given the handle a feed. I've cleaned this all up. I've used the belt sander to do the more shiny part. It's revealed their logo underneath the dirt. So yeah, that came up pretty nice, pretty quickly. I've only managed to ruin one of my favorite plants while getting to one of my tools, so that's good. I've got this thing hanging besides my workbench, so this is where I'll put it. This hole is too small, actually. They're all too small. Right, so that was a great idea that doesn't work. Yeah, so laying this back, and I'll find another spot for the push. I really thought it fitted. I remember trying earlier. Nope, really won't go. That's a shame. Looking forward to that. Anyway, sorry about that. That's the punch. I'll wax it and I'll put it in the drawer somewhere. Also, I bought this screwdriver. Now, I like these Becco screwdrivers, and I always tend to pick them up. Don't know I'm like them. I probably like the color of green. Got quite a few now. they've made these from somewhere in the 40s till somewhere in the 80s, and you can sort of see which ones are more early. This is an earlier one to my knowledge, with the handle being smooth, and I've got two other ones that are later that are probably from the 80s that I got on the second haul, which will show you. This one will be completely cleaned up because this one will turn out quite nice once it's all once the plastic's all been sanded and polished. But I won't, you can see I've already started sanding. I won't do that in this video. This is quite a rough one, and I normally wouldn't pick this one up because they're so common. You do find nice ones quite easily, but I've bought it now and I will save it. I must have felt for it, I don't know. Right, moving on to the second haul. I've bought two. I've bought these files. I like buying files. I've got quite a few, and I keep buying them. It's quite good quality work from Sweden, so that will clean up easily and nicely. That's something we can do straight away, so I'll clean that. I've also bought this one, which is a Dutch brand. It's a square. I don't have many square wrenches. It's Nicholson, but it's from the Dutch Nicholson factory. You can see Holland there. This would clean up quite easily. It's got quite a nice handle. I just noticed there's a few knocks out of the corners, which is a shame, but the bottom part's all in good condition, so it's still usable and it is sharp. So we'll clean these two. We'll clean these two files up. So this is one of the files cleaned. I do a coat of gun stock over the handle after I've cleaned it to all my files, and then a couple of coats of shellac just to protect them from greasy hands and dust and what have you not. So markings are a bit more clear now, if you would be at all interested. The other file is soaking in a tube of vinegar now, so I'll show that in a minute. Once it's done soaking, there's another file I bought that will get the vinegar treatment as well. This is being a Austrian file. Mainly bought it because of the handle. I like the handle for some reason, so we'll clean that up in a minute as well. Again, two of those screwdrivers. These are the later types with the pedal finish, so this is like the 80s, I think. Square shank, very rusty. Round shank, very bent, very much horribly ground down, so both a bit of a job. Didn't really notice that when I bought it. Also, I've bought this hand countersink, which I've wanted one for quite a while and never really bought one. I think Scoutcraft is always using them. That's why I wanted one, but this seemed to be quite a nice one, really. So yeah, I bought that, all with the obligatory paint on them. Then also I've bought this set of round punches. Now I thought they were of Asia make, which they might still be, but judging by the name that I didn't notice in the shop, it's European make, I think. They seemed, decent quality, and I always wanted a set and I never had one, so they seem of decent quality, really. So they've been used a lot. So these handles, the cap's all gone, it's all cracked, and I think the sticky tape was quite, the electrical sticky tape was quite a smart way to keep it together if applied a bit neater. These are paint covered, as is this one, and this is dirty, so I'll, with some boiling water, I'll see if I can get the paint to loosen up to get them looking a little bit better at least. So we'll do that now. Slowly but surely getting somewhere. This has been quite a laborious process, really, to get these all nice. The hand countersink came out beautiful from the boiling. All the paint's gone. Looks alright after a wire wheel. Then the screwdrivers, I've rinsed them with very hot water, and it didn't work on this screwdriver. The paint stuck on and I didn't like that, so I decided to do a full restoration while I was at it. So reground the tip, but I've also sanded the complete body, sanded and polished the complete body. So I think that came out quite good, I think. You know, I think it looks quite nice. So I'm happy with how that one came out. This one turned all white, and I've gotten it looking alright again. I didn't do the top because this is very close to what it came like. What I found interesting is, as you can see, made in Germany, Becco Sweden, made in Germany, and I did a hollow grind on the ruined tip, so that looked alright. Then this one, I wasn't happy with the finish I got on the handle. I got the top looking alright, but there's not much you can do with spots like this and spots like that. I wasn't happy. The shaft's very pitted, and I wasn't really willing to sand that because you can't really get it nice. I can't anyway get it nice over there, or you know, the bell doesn't go all the way down to the handle and then it ruins that. Just a worry. And then I remember Scoutcrafter talking, because this one was like that, you know, and he likes the screwdrivers to be like in the same line as the shaft, so you can use it as a pry bar. So I was thinking, you know, if I get a bad one, I might be able to turn it into a nice pry bar. And then I was thinking, like, really, this is basically as bad as it's gonna get. So I decided to turn it into a pry bar. I took a section off, not much, as you can see, just this little part, and I turned it into a screwdriver pry bar project. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I'm really happy. So I'll leave it to you to tell me if I did a somewhat decent job. It doesn't look right to me, and I don't know why. I really don't. But anyway, it's happened now. I'm sure it'll be fine. Files came out alright. You know, they're all clean. The Austrian one, I really like the handle. Needs some shellacking. You know, gave a little polish to the ferrule. So I think that came out alright. This one came out alright as well. I gave it some new tape and I glued all the cracks, but they will eventually crack again, as you know. But I think the tape was quite a good fix. I spent some time sanding and polishing the cap, but not too much, because I can't get that perfect anyway with the cracks. But I did clean everything very thoroughly, and you can see through it now when the light's coming from behind a bit again. So did all that, cleaned that one up, cleaned all the punches up. They're all like this, and they're all coated in ballast oil to keep them from try and prevent them from rusting. I think they need to face downwards when they're in the box. So yeah, I think that's all right. So took quite a bit of time to get that all looking good. Moving on, got 2 hammers for the vacuum grip hammer handle project. These claw hammers, you don't get those a lot on flea markets or charity shops over in the Netherlands. Don't know why. They had these two. This one looked a bit American to me, and I think I'm right, because that says Defiance. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it says Defiance. So that's a Stanley. We don't get this style of this shape of hammer over here, European ones anyway. And I think there's some remnants of the word Stanley over there, which will show up when I restore these, or when I do the project, which is for a later video. I've already been buying handles and what have you not. So we've got those. Also this hammer, which seems to be quite an early head. So we'll be probably quite careful with this one to keep what's left of Defiance, but this one I can do a full sanding on it, and I will do new handles, because this one is hung alright, but the bottom's all broken, and this one's got the bottom all broken, all chipped, but it's been very illy hung. I don't think it's a I think it used to be a round shaft when they put it on the hammerhead. So that will be for a later project. There will be a separate video eventually. These are all the this all came out of all of the round punches. There was quite a lot of it in there, so I cleaned that all out. So we'll put that to the side now. So you can go over there, the hammers can go over here. Upcoming video. Getting towards the end now. Luckily, it's going to be quite a long video, I'm afraid. I bought this scraper. Scoutcraft has been doing quite a few scrapers, so I've been looking at scrapers more, and I think they'll be handy for the upcoming renovation. Quite rough, but I think I can get it usable again. There's quite a lot of paint on the handle, which I don't like, and I've been cleaning it with some, doing some tests on the on this side with some wire wool, and it seems to come out quite nice. So we'll clean this one up now. It's been ground from, can you tell? It's been ground from two sides, and I think it should have a grind coming just from one side to, you know, give you that pushing effect. So we'll do a quick clean up and surface on this one now. Right, so here's the scraper cleaned up, clean handle. I've removed the rust, like the obvious rust from the blade, but it's, you know, as you know, it's very high carbon, so you can't really get it all nice, which I wasn't attempting to use a tool, but I did clean up the ferrule quite nicely, I think, and I resharpened it with a very sharp angle, which I thought would be great for pushing and pulling. It's quite sharp now, so I think that'll do a good job in the near future. Then also I've bought this chisel, very rough condition, made by the same company as this punch, as you can see by the name. These were the last chisels they made before they closed the factory, before the American investment bankers closed the factory. And I remember my dad had a new set, and he's given them to me. Actually, they're somewhere in my shed. But this one is very rough, but I think it'll make a good user chisel. We'll just clean this up. This will stay scarred. Will be done in a maybe in another video. I've already cleaned some of the back up, but I will try and keep the name. There is a name underneath here, which is etched, so that'll disappear sadly. But this will be a clean up just for another user chisel, Dutch Heritage, which I like. Then I bought this pokey thing. Just want to use it just for pokey work. I will clean up the shaft a little bit, and I'll polish the handle, just to polish. I won't sand out any of the scratches because I'm going to use it, so I'll do that now quickly. There we have it. After a quick cleanup, sanded the shaft down, and I resharpened the tip, quite sharp now. And I ended up sanding the back end a little bit, just because it's me. Not a perfect sanding, but just to get the worst of the hammering out. I bought it because I like the shade of green. It's made by Wisvo, which sounds to me like a German name. There's a little bit of paint in there that I can't get out, very stubborn. And after the experience with the other screwdrivers, I wasn't gonna do the boiling again just yet. So I think this is okay for a user pokey thing. This is what you want. You don't want it all, you know, you don't want this all shiny, because you'll ruin that, and I'll be afraid to use it. So this is something I'm able to use. Hang on, I'm almost there. So this Knipex pliers. Now my neighbor's a carpenter by trade, and he's got these in his little tool bag, and I always see him using it for pulling nails, stubborn screws, whatever. Seems really useful. So I saw this in the box, so I thought I'd pull it out and give it a whirl. I always wanted one. Very good quality brand, in okay condition. There's one chip somewhere in there, but I thought it was alright since you're using it to pull anyway. Now the thing with these is, Knipex coats them in a sort of black. I've been cleaning with some wire wool over there, which is very the black they put, I don't know what they use, but it's very hard and resist getting chipped very well. Now if you put it in vinegar, or if you put it on the wire wool, it's gone. But you know, I want to leave as much of that black that they put on there as I can. So I'm going to try and wire wheel it and get it into just give it a surface basically. So I'll do that now, so I can go in the user box. So here we have the pliers after the tune-up. I said I just used the wire wool to clean it. I did the tops and the side with the belt sander, and then I've sanded the handles because it had quite a big forging mark still in there, which I didn't like, and they were quite rusty. Probably the most rusty part of the whole pliers. And then I've used some bluing to blend in the spots where I've gone through the black coating, so it looks even and it's a bit protected. It's still a bit shiny because I just coated it with some Bellows oil, which I'll leave on there to dry, which forms a protective film. But nice user pliers, just something you use and you wash down with some oil, and then you put it away, protect it in your box. So coming down, we're at the last tool of the haul, which is a cold chisel, and I picked it up because I think this is a good German make, but you can see it's very used. Just a little bit blunt, and there's a little bit of mushrooming. So just as a user, I'll just get it back in service. So nothing fancy. Just I'll just give this a quick service now. Here's what it looks like after a quick service job. So I've derusted the chisel. I've taken all the mushrooming off. There's quite a lot of it on there, really. Nothing fancy because I'm gonna do this as a user. I did attempt the sharpening. I'm not really sure about the angle I chose, but again, I'm practicing, so after some use I can always change the angle again, just to use it, just to practice my skills on. I did put some paint in there. I think it needs yellow, but I didn't have any, so it might become yellow eventually. Anyway, here's this is the last tool of the tool haul, with quite a few of them cleaned, which is good. So I'm sorry for this video being a bit longer than I hoped it'll be. I'd be very interested to know what you think of my tool haul and my cleanups, and I'll be cleaning this up, and then I'll hopefully see you again soon in another video. Alright, thank you for watching. Bye bye.